Thank you, Member Bennett. Whenever you're ready.
Nice to see you have a face. Right? And move that chair. Right? Madam Chair and members, AB 1041 will streamline the provider credentialing process for doctors by establishing requirements that promote accountability and transparency and ease credentialing burdens on independent physicians without jeopardizing patient safety. Why is this important, you might ask? This will improve access to health care by cutting through administrative red tape and expediting physicians' ability to be added to health plan networks and begin seeing patients enrolled in those plans. AB 1041 would take important steps to improve the credentialing process. Specifically, this bill would require healthcare service plans and health insurers to adopt a single, uniform credentialing form, which would eliminate the redundant paperwork that exists in the current credentialing process. 2, it would establish firm deadlines for the credentialing process, requiring that a health insurer has 90 days to review a credentialing application. If the healthcare service plan or insurer does not meet the 90-day deadline, the applicant's credential shall be conditionally approved unless specific conditions apply, and provide clarity and accessibility to the credentialing process by requiring insurers to provide the applicant with contact information for the individual assigned to review the applicant's application. In Ventura County, like many places in California, there are shortages of physicians, and delays in the credentialing process further exacerbate this problem. This bill is a modest step in an effort to expand access to care. With me today are Flo DiBenito and Dr. Joyne Liu in support. I ask for your aye vote and look forward to hearing from my witnesses.
Thank you. You'll each have 2 minutes.
Distinguished Chair and members of the Health Committee, good afternoon. My name is Dr. Joyne Liu. I'm a practicing radiation oncologist in Eureka, California, in Humboldt County. And like many rural areas, we face a persistent shortage of physicians. My own small 4-person practice is deeply embedded in the community. When a patient calls our office, they don't get routed to a call center. They get my front desk to answer the phone, and I can talk to my patients directly. That's one of the reasons I've been there for almost 18 years. But in a health professional shortage area, the last thing we need is slow and inefficient credentialing, leading to delays on onboarding physicians. These delays can last 4 to even 6 months. I've experienced firsthand how a flawed credentialing process has resulted in a panel of patients being canceled that were scheduled to see a new physician, or a physician that couldn't attend a scheduled conference because the physician who was supposed to cover for them didn't get credentialed in time. This isn't just an inconvenience of paperwork. It's a barrier to healthcare access and adds to the burnout among physicians. The credentialing process should be as streamlined and efficient as possible. AB 1041 creates a standardized credentialing process requiring plans to make timely decisions. The status quo is not working. That's why I ask those who oppose AB 1041, is the current credentialing status quo acceptable? You know how bad it is, so why didn't you bring up with a proposed solution? So I urge your support for AB 1041. Let's remove the barriers and let more doctors take care of patients without delay. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Flo DiBenedetto. I'm the CEO of DiBenedetto Solutions, which is a healthcare consulting firm. I'm also a healthcare attorney, and I've practiced in California for over 40 years, both in private practice and most recently as the general counsel of Sutter Health. Credentialing is one of my specialties, and I've represented both physicians seeking to be credentialed and the organizations doing the credentialing. Before a physician can treat a patient enrolled in a health plan or insured by an insurance company, he or she must be credentialed, which is a process designed to assess their qualifications. Health plans and insurance companies have their own credentialing forms. There's no standard form that these payers are required to use. So over and over again, physicians are filling out different forms but providing the exact information to multiple organizations. Having a standardized form required to be used by health plans and insurance companies would go a long way to reducing the burden on physicians and some of the delays in the credentialing process. Larger medical groups have the resources to take on this paperwork, either because they're large or because they are affiliated with a health system which completes the paperwork for them. Independent physicians don't have that. Putting timelines on health plans and insurance companies to expeditiously complete the credentialing process is an imperative. These organizations can hold a physician's credentialing form for weeks or even months before it even tells the physician that the form is incomplete and won't be processed. Health plans and insurance companies have the resources and the staff to devote to processing these credentialing applications in a far more timely manner. In the system as it operates today, when physicians are delayed in credentialing, it's the patients who suffer because they can't access their physician for care. AB 1041 will establish some long-needed transparency and accountability by standardizing the forms and creating a reasonable 90-day review period. The law will not reduce standards. It will reduce waste by streamlining this process, and I respectfully urge your aye vote to make credentialing more efficient to better serve patients. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other witnesses in support? Any primary witnesses in opposition, please come forward. Thank you. You'll have 2 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members. Nick Luizos with the California Association of Health Plans. First, let me start off by, thanking the sponsors of this bill. They did reach out to us, and we had a good conversation about, what they're intending to do with this measure. And so, would like to thank the author as well for that. We certainly appreciate the intent of the bill. As our members believe that a streamlined credentialing process will be beneficial to both plans and providers. We commend the author for his desire to decrease administrative burdens in the system. And a common application, certainly a good idea. Many plans already use them, particularly the one that's NCQA accredited, because if providers, did use a common application, submitted their supporting documents on time through, electronic means in particular, and attested periodically that their data was accurate, that would be a good thing. And plans could certainly process those applications, better than the timelines, associated with this bill. As currently drafted, though, we don't think the bill entirely hits the mark. The main reason for delay in credentialing providers, and this is very similar to the provider directory that we just heard, is the back and forth necessary to get updated and accurate information, because many providers, unfortunately, are not responsive and do not maintain current information in their applications. And this bill doesn't do very much to fix that particular problem. Conditionally approving applications with the wrong information, we think, is ill-advised. And we also have issues with the limitation on our plans to make follow-up inquiries to the providers. So, if this bill passes the committee, we are open to having further conversations with the author. But in its current form, we don't believe the bill, entirely achieves its goal. So, thank you. We're opposed.
Any other witnesses in opposition, please come forward. State your name, affiliation, and position only.
Stephanie Watkins on behalf of the Association of California Life and Health Insurance Companies. We'd like to align our comments with our colleague at CAP and look forward to working on the bill that moves forward today. Thank you.
Kevin Guzman with the California Medical Association. Just wanted to say we appreciate the author's willingness to take on this issue. We are fortunately opposed unless amended. The bill is largely modeled off a CMA-sponsored bill from last year that the author held in order to work with stakeholders to find a solution. We believe that this bill should undergo a similar stakeholder process with the groups that have been working on this the last few years. Thank you very much.
Assemblymember, do you accept the amendments that were offered by committee?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or questions from the committee? Assemblymember Patel.
Thank you for bringing this bill forward. I have just a question. It's a clarifying question. Is there any guidance? I didn't see any guidance in this language about whose version of the form or which content would be considered a priority in getting into this new form. Are you leaving that up to the departments in question to come up with that by the deadline?
Yes, although I might point out here, I think it's appropriate to answer. There are a number of things that no bill is ever perfect when you first bring it forward in front of committee. I think there are a number of things that we look forward to working with everybody on, and it's new information to me that there is a second application process out there that is being recommended. So certainly from the author's point of view, willing to have conversations about all of those things.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to thank Assemblymember Bennett for bringing forward this bill today. I think we were actually looking at a similar bill early on in the session. I'm glad that you were able to move forward with this with our committee amendments. And just want to echo what you said. The provider credentialing process is important, but it's a process that has become increasingly burdensome, timely, and confusing for providers to navigate. Just today, I had a group in my office that said that it took them 8 months to get credentialed when we so desperately need different kinds of healthcare workers, all kinds. That's really not acceptable. And I've been hearing about these issues from a wide range of providers: physicians, nurses, midwives, doulas, community healthcare workers. So we have a lot of work to do. And I just want to also note that the former chair of this committee worked with the California Medical Association on a substantially similar bill proposal, and I'm glad to see that it's been reintroduced and we can move it forward again today. And I also note that CMA did not introduce a letter in opposition to this at this time. So I'm hopeful that you can continue to make progress on this, and I'm happy to support it as it moves out, should it move out of this committee. With that, Secretary, please call the roll. Would you like to close?
I appreciate the comments of the chair. I know that you have intimately been involved in this effort and many other efforts to try to improve healthcare, and so I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Assembly Member. I need a motion in a second. Arambula and Stephanie. With that, please call the roll.
The motion is due pass as amended to appropriations. Bonta.
Aye.
Bonta, aye. Chen. Addis. Addis, aye. Aguiar-Curry. Arambula. Arambula, aye. Carrillo. Flora. Gonzalez. Gonzalez, aye. Krell. Krell, aye. Patel. Patel, aye. Rodriguez. Rodriguez, aye. Sanchez. Schiavo. Schiavo, aye. Sharp Collins. Stephanie. Stephanie, aye.
That measures out. Thank you, Assembly Member.